All right, today I'm going to be talking about Gravity Falls Season 1, Episode 7. I know it's been a minute since my last Gravity Falls episode, and I'm sorry about that, but I've had a lot of stuff going on, both in life, but also, um, I got Resident Evil 4 on sale the other day because I am too cheap to pay the $70 or however much it was at release. I found a good sale though at Target, luckily, so I was able to get that, and I've been playing the hell out of that because it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. um, so yeah, if you haven't seen those yet, check out my gameplay. It's nothing special. I try to talk, but I don't really have viewers in there, so it's kind of awkward to talk to yourself, except when I'm making YouTube videos, I guess. But yeah, they're pretty good. I'm getting better at it for sure, so that's always good. And we'll just jump right into this. So, starting out, quick breakdown of this episode. Stan is throwing a party, and he's charging the guests, and he wants to make sure he makes a profit. So he gets Dipper works the concession or ticket stand with Wendy, and that's why he chooses to work it because she's working it. And Stan tells him, very clearly, no matter what, you stay here and you do your job. Um, so yeah, Dipper says, yeah, no problem. I'm going to be with Wendy, so obviously I'll do that. That quickly changes when Wendy, I'm sorry, I can't think of the word. When she pieces out from the stand to hang out with Robbie, and Dipper, of course, wants to be around her, so he has to come up with a way to get out of it as well, even though he told Grunkle Stan that he would do it. So his way of doing this is he finds a copier that can copy human people, and he makes a copy of himself. And then when he gets too busy still, they make another copy, and another, and so on and so forth. And they keep making these copies until it gets kind of out of hand. Um, at first, when he makes the first copy, you think, "Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. The guy is nice. It's not like an evil clone situation." I mean, that sounds like a win. So naturally, they kept making copies. And when they do that, I feel like they progressively got worse because they start talking to each other and they start like forming a little almost rebellion or alliance, even though Dipper wasn't like being a dictator or anything crazy, but yeah, they kind of form an alliance. Sorry, my dog sneezed. They form an alliance and they kind of start to turn against Dipper because they wonder like, hey, why do you get to be with Wendy? Like you're making all these bad decisions. You don't know how to talk to her. Why do you get to be with her? We're the ones who have all these great ideas, and we would know how to treat her. So we think we should lock you up, and they do that. They lock him up, so Dipper has to try to, you know, escape them. He gets out, turns on the sprinklers, and since they're made from a copier, they melt, which I thought was awesome. It's like a cool like Wicked Witch of the West type thing. Like pour some water on them, they melt. Um, but yeah, no. And then the first clone that Dipper created, he evades that, and he chases Dipper and yada yada. Yada. Skip to the end. Dipper gets the best of him, but before the clone Dipper can die, he tells Dipper, just don't overthink it. Pretty much like live in the moment. You're missing time with Wendy. You're overthinking stuff. You don't need a game plan. You don't need like a rule book to talk to the girl. Just do it. Not to sound like Shia LaBeouf there, but yeah, just do it. And he takes that advice and he just kind of enjoys whatever time he gets left with her. Um, and as for like the side plot of this episode, it's kind of focused on Mabel and her friends, or her new friends. Like she makes new friends there at the dance, and they're all very funny. I love all of her friends. I think they're a good group. And Mabel has to deal with Pacifica Northwest, which I'm assuming will be a recurring character with how much emphasis they put on her. She seems like a trip. Um, these are just children, so I'm not gonna call her like a bitch or anything crazy like that. But yeah, no, she seems like fun, I'll say. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the plot. That's pretty much the gist of it. This isn't a super crazy episode, but I did have some like a takeaway from it that I may be looking too far into it, and if I am, you guys can let me know because, like I said, I mean, sometimes I get too deep into it and I think too much about it, and it's like there's really no point. But one thing I really liked about this was, how the Dipper's clone and how the overall like theme of the episode, I guess, it really emphasized like, hey, um, this is like you're doing this wrong. You're going about it wrong. You have to live in the moment. You can't plan everything with her. You can't plan everything in your life and expect it to go, perfectly. Part of the beautiful things about life are the unplanned moments and the moments you have like on a whim, and that has been my experience personally. You know, I think it's still difficult not to get caught up planning everything and doing that stuff, because for me at least I do get caught up doing that. I try to live in the moment best I can, but sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I don't. And I try to catch myself when I'm doing it if I can, but sometimes you just don't notice. And Dipper, for example, he's out here in this episode creating, you know, a dozen some odd clones just to be with Wendy, and yet he spends the whole episode away from Wendy. And I think it's a really good way to show, like, hey, plan all you want, overthink all you want, but while you're doing all that and you're not living in the moment, time's passing you up. Those moments are passing you by, and you're not going to get them back. And, with my wife and like a puppy especially, I try to enjoy those moments and, just kind of savor them because it's worth it. I mean, there's more to life than planning and having everything, be perfect. And you just have to make sure that you're taking the time to enjoy that stuff, because before you know it, 10 years are going to pass by, or 8 or 6, and you're going to wonder what happened, like I do sometimes. And so that's why I always make it a point now to enjoy those moments, enjoy the time I have with people I love. And again, I'm probably taking these way too serious, reading like way too much into them, because it's a kid's show at the end of the day. But, I think the good thing about like media and stuff like that is you can take from it what you want. Like, you can interpret it how you want to. And I think, this is one of those shows where it's definitely deeper than it's meant to be. I think the writers know what they're doing. I think they're smart, capable, because there's so many jokes in these that genuinely make me laugh, and things that genuinely make me think. So I think it's great. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. You could tell me if I'm wrong or if you agree in the comments down below. And yeah, tell me, if you're struggling with the same kind of thing, if you can relate. If not, let me know. Let me know how you get past it, how you get by, because I don't know. Like I said, for me, sometimes it's still hard. I try it best I can to live in the moment, but there's some times where I just catch myself like slipping out of it, being like, hey, what am I doing? Like I'm sitting here with my wife, with my puppy, and I'm thinking about things that don't affect me right now. And even if it's going to affect me in the future, what is sitting there thinking about it going to do? What's sitting there worrying about it going to do? Nothing. Nothing at all. So, it's just best to do what you can, do the best you can, take it day by day, and enjoy life, because there's a lot to enjoy.